Imagine this for a moment. It's a normal weekday morning. You're already late, traffic is bad, and as you turn the key in your car, a small orange light flashes on the dashboard. Your stomach tightens. You know what that light means. A mechanic, a bill, stress. You tell yourself, I'll deal with it later. Not because you don't care, but because right now, your bank balance doesn't give you a choice. Weeks pass. The noise gets worse. One day, the car finally gives up, right in the middle of the road. Now it's not just a warning light. It's a tow truck. Missed work. Bigger repairs. What could have been a small fix turns into a financial disaster. This isn't bad luck. This is how being broke quietly becomes expensive. Most people think poverty is about earning less money. But the real damage happens after the paycheck arrives. It's the penalties, the extra fees, the forced bad choices. Being broke isn't cheaper. It's actually the most costly position you can be in. And no one explains this properly. Financial advice online loves to shame people. Stop wasting money. Be more disciplined. Just save more. But that advice completely ignores how the system treats you based on how much money you already have. There's a concept that explains this perfectly. It's often described with a simple example. A person with money buys something once, good quality, long-lasting. A person without money buys the cheapest option because they have no choice. That cheap option breaks, wears out, or fails faster. So they buy it again and again. Over time, the person who couldn't afford the good option ends up paying more, not less, while still dealing with worse outcomes. This pattern shows up everywhere in real life. Take basic household items. If you have extra cash, you buy in bulk. Lower cost per item. Fewer trips. Less stress. If you don't have cash, you buy small quantities at higher prices, because locking money away isn't possible. Same product, same brand. Different price, purely because of cash flow. That extra cost is what many economists call the poverty premium. It's the hidden tax you pay for not having savings. And it doesn't stop at groceries. Let's talk about banks. If you keep a large balance, banks treat you well. No fees, extra benefits, maybe even rewards. But if your account is nearly empty, one small mistake can trigger massive penalties. A forgotten subscription, a delayed paycheck, a single miscalculation. Suddenly, you're charged more in fees than the original transaction itself. In percentage terms, those fees would be considered illegal anywhere else. But inside banking, they're normal. The system quietly takes money from the people who can least afford to lose it. And when money is tight, something else happens, something most people never talk about. Your brain changes. When you're constantly worried about bills, rent, and emergencies, your mind shifts into survival mode. Research shows financial stress actually reduces decision-making ability. Not because people are irresponsible, but because their mental energy is already exhausted. This is why short-term decisions start replacing long-term thinking. Not cooking, because you're too drained. Accepting high-interest loans, because there's no other option. Ignoring problems, because dealing with them costs money you don't have. It's not stupidity. It's overload. Nowhere is this clearer than with transportation. Reliable vehicles cost more upfront, but far less over time. Unreliable vehicles are cheaper to buy, but expensive to maintain, repair, and finance. People with savings avoid the worst deals. People without savings are forced into them. High interest, old vehicles, constant breakdowns. And once you're stuck, escaping becomes harder every year. Housing works the same way. Rent often costs more monthly than ownership. Yet saving for ownership is impossible because rent is so high. So one group builds assets. The other pays endlessly, without equity, without relief. You're not just renting space. You're renting stability. Even time isn't spared. When you have money, daily tasks are efficient. When you don't, everything takes longer. More travel, more waiting, more friction, and time lost today is income lost tomorrow. This is why being broke feels exhausting, because every small task costs more money, more time, and more mental energy. Here's the part most people miss. The way out isn't getting rich fast. It's stopping the bleeding. Before investing, before side hustles, before chasing big returns. The real turning point is building a buffer. A small emergency fund changes everything. Not because it makes you wealthy, but because it protects you from penalties. Suddenly, small problems stay small. Suddenly, bulk buying becomes possible. Suddenly, fees stop controlling your life. Money saved doesn't just earn interest, it removes future expenses. That's the shift. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this right now?" Start asking, "Does this permanently remove a future problem?" Fixing things early. Buying quality once. Avoiding high-interest traps. These decisions don't feel exciting, but they quietly buy freedom. The system profits when you don't understand this math. Late fees, convenience charges, interest, subscriptions you forget about. When you start making long-term decisions, you stop being a profitable customer and start becoming the financial manager of your own life. So here's the real action step. Look for the places where lack of money is costing you extra money. Find the biggest leak and focus everything on sealing that one hole. Not forever, just long enough to break the cycle. Because once you do, momentum shifts. The pressure eases. The math starts working for you instead of against you. This journey isn't fair. It never was. But once you understand the rules, you can stop blaming yourself and start beating the system quietly. If this made you see money differently, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe, because understanding the trap is the first step out of it.